everyone, and welcome. Today we are going to be doing part 2 of Post ARR 2.55. Alright. You must be wary quietly, and now may very well be your only chance to antecedent. A messenger from Ul'dah arrived with a missive for you. The royal seal. Curious indeed. Ah, an invitation. On behalf of the Council of the Eorzean Alliance, Her Royal Majesty Nanamo Ul'Namo invites the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to attend a feast at the Royal Palace of Ul'Dah in honor of Ishgard's recent victory. It would seem we are to be recognized for our part in lifting the siege. You for your vigilant efforts as commander of the adventurous contingent, and the Archons for their earnest attempts to rouse the city-states. Truly, I find it strange that the Alliance leaders should think themselves deserving of a place at such a celebration. All three refuse to deploy their standing armies, preferring to send hastily assembled companies of sellswords, many of whom perished ere the siege began. Are they truly so brazen as to seek to share in the glory of your triumph? But mayhaps they simply seek to pretext to meet with the Ishgardians while the mood is yet jubilant. Such an occasion should present a fine opportunity to press for Ishgard's return to the Eorzean Alliance. We have scarce had time to mourn Moonbrida, and I, for one, am in no mood to carouse, but I suppose we must put away our grief for the good of the realm. Though you were promised rest, I fear I must insist that you also attend. It would be a strange celebration indeed if the victorious hero were not present. Pray, content yourself with the thought that such occasion may bring about monumentous change, and this without recourse to bloodshed. Tataru, if you would do me a favor of contacting the rest of the Scions? Of course, Antecedent. And please, let me know if there's anything else I can do. Curious. I have never seen Tataru to sigh at such requests. Could aught be amiss? Tataru is conspicuous by her absence. Tataru? I believe she just stepped outside. Now that I think about it, she did seem rather preoccupied. There she is. All the way up on the top. Good evening, ma'am. Oh, quietly, too. I didn't mean to worry anyone. It's nothing, really. Well, it's not nothing exactly. It feels like nothing compared to towering trials you and the others face every day. That's why I should probably talk to Menphilia before things get any worse. You always know what to say quietly. I'm glad we had this little chat. Yes, Tataru, you have my undivided attention. I've been hesitant to broach the subject, what with all the recent excitement, but quietly made me realize that there's no time like the present, and time is what I'm here to ask for. I am not sure I understand. If you wish to be excused from your duties for a time, then you have certainly earned the rest. But I suspect that lying abed is far from your intent. You know me well, antecedent. There is, in fact, something I've been wanting to try my hand at. Along with the adventurers and the Crystal Braves, the Scions are constantly being thrown into dangerous battles and deadly predicaments. Even Hori Boulder and Kulanet have been promoted from guard duty to fill our need for competent warriors. And so it seems only right that I too should acquire the power to defend myself and others, more importantly. When I return, I shall be both your receptionist and your bodyguard. Go, Tataru! She looks determined. Woohoo! Woohoo! Hey! That's the first time I've almost been knocked to the ground by a Lullafell. I've never seen Miss Tataru so determined. Has aught befell with which I might help, antecedent? No, not at the present, thank you. Was there anything you would ask of me? Yes, pray excuse my distraction. An adventurer who was to join us for escort duty was injured while out on patrol, and I fear we cannot properly defend the solars entrusted to our protection without the aid of at least one more guard. Therefore, I humbly request that another adventurer of capable kind, of course, be assigned to our party. Very well, I shall consider the potential candidates and provide you with a replacement as soon as I am able. My thank, antecedent. I take my leave of you. An unexpected ambition. Oh, we do both? Menphilia is at a loss for words. The power to defend ourselves. Tataru has been full of surprises. Now that I think on it, I do recall Uranger mentioning that she had developed an interest in arcanamia. Mayhap she hopes to gain admittance into the Arcanes Guild in Limsa Lominsa? Yes, that will be the way of it. Would you be so kind as to journey to the guild and see that all is well? It is doubtless unwarranted, but surely I am not alone in my concern for her safety. Oh. Quietly, what are you doing here? I didn't mean for her to worry. That's the last thing I wanted. Putting an end to such worries is precisely the reason I'm here, don't you see? I, Tataru, shall become a great and powerful arcanist. And now, as Mistress Thumbergem behest, I must go and complete the special training exercise until we meet again. Well, at this. If it isn't quietly, what brings you to the guild? So you are acquainted with our newest member. An arcanist of your experience must see that her potential is somewhat lacking. Nevertheless, she would not be denied, and goes now to undertake her first trial, a simulated inspection of 3 crates. Doubtless you recall receiving similar training when Kayla's supervision. A thought has occurred to me. Why not oversee Tataru's training yourself? Given your relationship with the girl and her familiarity with the task, I think you the ideal choice. You need only head to the cliffside south of Zephyr Gate, as it before, and observe at a distance. There are the crates. Oh, Azure seas to Pirate's Port, where she met her shining jewel, for to bring the smuggler's plane to naught. Came the lass whom none could fool. Beat him with the backdraft, gut him with the gas, deck him with the downburst, go carbuncle go. Are those crates I spy? Ah, and this must be the true test. But we're ready for them, aren't we, Carbuncle? Carbuncle? Carbuncle ran away. Look at him go. Oh no. Come back, Carbuncle, come back. Well... I should have known you'd come quietly. You didn't say a word, your face says it all. I know you bore witness to my shame. Betrayed by my own carbuncle and left at the mercy of wild beasts. I must accept the truth. I'll never be a warrior like you or the others. I will inform Mistress Thumbergem of my intention to withdraw from the guild. Arcanamia, like so much else, is beyond me. Aw, poor Tataru. And back soon. Back so soon. How fared our fledgling arcanist? Abysmal, Mrs. Thumbergem. Abysmally, as quietly will testify. I was wrong to become an arcanist. Wrong as usual. I am completely and utterly unqualified, and I sincerely apologize for wasting your time. Tataru, if that were true, I would not have permitted you to join in the first place. We must all come to accept our limitations, lest our ambitions lead us astray. However, we must not lose sight of our strength in the process. For example, your exceptional skill with numbers helped you to gain a solid grasp of the fundamentals of Arcanamia. Were it not for that, you would have struggled even to summon Carbuncle to your side. In my opinion, the Scions are truly fortunate to have such a capable and good-natured receptionist in their service. Would you not agree? You are too kind, Mistress Thumbergem. Though I could not overcome this challenge, I shall take your words to heart and try not to be discouraged. As fetching as these garments are, I fear I shall never don them again. But I can't go back to the Rising Stones without something to show for my time away. Wait, I know what I could do. That's it, if you don't mind accompanying me for a little longer. Wonderful. Then to Costa del Sol we will go. It's a bit of a gamble, but I'm confident it will pay off. Yes, this is it. This is where the man at the Drowning Wench told me to look. There are certain variety of clam which can be harvested this time of year in the Bloodshore, one which produces the most marvelous pearls. However, these clams are also coveted by certain wild creatures, and since I fared rather poorly in the battle last time, let's be off. What fortune, I've already found one. Would you be so kind as to keep watch while I work? This would only take a moment. Well fought, quietly, well fought. I knew it was right to ask you to come. As for me, I have my prize, a bounty of blood pearls. So named for their reddish hue, they were treasured as wards against dark magics in ancient times. I thought I might make charms for everyone so that no matter where they go, they will always come home. It's sort of the power to defend myself and other people, in a way, right? Well, I mustn't keep Philemon waiting. There's work to be done, and lots of it. We're to secure provisions for the scions in the Limson market. She may have an eye for quality, but I have a nose for bargains. Will you be heading back to the Rising Stones? If so, pray convey my apologies to the antecedent and tell her that she needn't worry about me. Very well, quietly, and thank you for everything. That sounded rather final, didn't it? How about until we meet again? Welcome home, quietly. I gather you found Tataru and Limsa Lominza. My, it sounds as though she had quite an adventure, and while it did not end as she had hoped, I suspect that it will prove to be a valuable experience. I dare say she could have managed without our intervention. Even so, I appreciate you indulging my request. I wonder, do you perchance recall the commitment I made to furnish Hoary Boulder with a compatible adventure? Well, I am sorry to say that I have yet to be able to do so. Now I realize that you are the rather more than a capable adventurer, and that escort duty is frankly beneath a woman of your talents, but I have no one else to turn to at present. Might you be willing to forego rest and assist in this matter? Generous to a fault. I thank you, quietly. Now, it seems only fair that I explain the importance of the task in question. For some time, our order has employed a handful of scholars to travel around Eorzea taking etheric readings that we might better understand the impact of the primal summonings. Naturally, it behooves us to ensure our employees' safety, and so we ask the adventurers in our service to serve as an escort. Hori, Boulder, and Countnet Colette were to act as two such escorts, as was a third adventurer. Alas, due to injury, said adventurer is not presently fit for duty, hence my need to impose upon your goodwill. You truly are a pillar of strength. Quietly, Hori Boulder will share with you the details of your task. He should be waiting for you outside. Be safe. Quietly. Is it true that you agreed to lend us a hand? What did I tell you, Colette? Colnet? Our misfortune has become a blessing, an opportunity to serve alongside the Warrior of Light herself. Need I remind you that we have three scholars to escort, each of whom will take a different route. True, but our mission is the same. Separate by moms we may be, but in spirit we shall be together. If such thoughts bring you joy, you are welcome to think them. To more practical concerns, quietly, we would have you attend to the scholar charged with surveying the South Shroud. He is waiting at Camp Tranquil as we speak. All you need to do is follow the man. He will determine the most appropriate locations to take his readings. In spirit, quietly. In spirit, we shall be together every step of the way. In spirit, guys. At last, the Scion's woman deigns to grace me with her present. A pity that we have no time for pleasantries. Our first destination is Isomhar. Come, we are late enough as it is. Yes, this location should suffice. Once I finish calibrating my instruments, I will require but a moment to take the necessary measurements. I trust I need not explain that my work can suffer no interruptions. Then please stand at an appropriate distance and keep watch for wild beasts. This guy's kind of a pompous guy, huh? Like a little bit. I see we have both completed our respective tasks. A satisfactory outcome, though. If I could make one suggestion, you might try to dispatch your foes more quietly in the future. I do not like to pick fault, but I really must be allowed to concentrate. Now then, Snake Molt awaits, shall we? Right about here, yes. As before, I would ask that you keep an eye out for dangerous beasts as I work. Fascinating. These readings are not at all what I expected. Though perhaps that should come as no surprise. I am not given to superstition, but there is a queer, almost blasphemous air hereabouts. Let us quit this place and return to Roots Lake. We have one more site to survey. As before, my guardian, please leave me to my task and ensure our safety. This data should prove invaluable to... Ye gods, what is that stench? Did you slaughter a creep of Ambidostrius while my back was turned? Quickly now, to Camp Tranquil. I will not have my clothes reeking of blood and offal. Rude. You chose to paddle in the Incor a while longer. I take it. No matter. I took advantage of my unexpected privacy and performed a courtesy analysis of my data. It would appear that there has been a measurable decrease in Eorzea's ambient ether concentration since the calamity. However, this data is far from conclusive. We must have additional measurements to confirm my assessment. For our next survey, I would have you escort me to Earth's font. The ambient ether concentrations there are so high that crystalline structure forms spontaneously. Consequently, amylose fluctuations should be much easier to detect. Brilliant, yes? No, don't bother answering. That was rhetorical. Now, come along. It's a real piece of work. You should be more than familiar with the procedure by now. Pray, find a suitable position from which to keep watch while I take measurements. Yes, quite high, yet still markedly low than the historical measurements taken near the end of the 6th astral era. Could the presence of primals account for the difference, or is there something else? Something else. Something else? Cyan over here. I need you. Lil Red. No. Fear not, my friend. Help has arrived. There you are, quietly. Ori and I were worried when you and your charge failed to return to at the appointed hour. Gutted like a hog, but not by one. No, these wounds were made with a blade. Doesn't look like he put up much of a fight either. Nary a mark on his sword or his shield. I've heard nothing of any Crystal Brave operations in this area. What cause had Wilrid to come here? But what do we do? We will see to the scholar's protection quietly. Aye, and the boy's remains. You should return to the Rising Stones. The antecedent will want to know what happened here. And so do I. You're gonna find out. Quietly, you returned, and you seemed troubled. Did the role of escort chafe so? Wilfred dead, mayhaps murdered. By the 12s, how can that be? I will send word to Alphanod at once. He will want to conduct a full investigation and send word to Wilfred's family. Gods, he was just a boy. Who would do this, and why? The recent events weigh heavily on our minds. We must needs set them aside for now. We come to a defining moment in Eorzean history. The grand commemoration of our joint defense of Ishgard, the first time in 15 long years that our people have stood side by side with our neighbors to the north to fight in common cause. May this mark the true rebirth of the Eorzean Alliance. Failing that, it should at the very least serve to bring our nations closer together. We have every reason to raise our voices in celebration, do we not? We have bested Dravonians and Asians both. Against desperate odds, we have fought and won. But the primals still plague us, the Empire still plots our subjugation, and our triumph, remarkable though they are, were brought at a terrible price. Brave adventurers and allies broken on the steps of faith, and before our eyes in this very room, our very dear friend Moonbrida. This is the victory we have wrought, and it is as bitter ashes in my mouth. I would soon stay here and invite those with more appetite to enjoy the feast in my stead. Alas, it is a royal banquet, and all of our allies will be in attendance. It is our duty to present a united front that we might serve as a beacon of hope to all. It seems I have no choice but to take my own advice. I instruct the others to meet us in Ul'dah. We might take our grand entrance there, make our grand entrance there. Unfortunately, I had to settle for leaving Totteru and Limon a note. If they do not return quickly, they will have to settle for whatever leftovers I can struggle out of the fragments chamber. Off to the big soiree quietly. Raise a glass for me, eh? Or not. You don't look best pleased, lass. Something on your mind. By the Navigator, Wilbred's dead? Gods damn it, they must know that they must know they've been rumbled. I mean, sod it. 'Tis past time we had this talk. After our last conversation, I got to thinking about where certain funds were coming from, so I had a dig around on the quiet like, and sure enough, found it. Seems a fair bit of coin made its way into the Braves' coffer courtesy of a dodo courtesan consortium, a daft name for a business, if ever I heard one, which is what first gave me an inkling of something weren't right. So I went through the ledgers again and found another half-dozen donations from the organization with stupid, bloody names. Didn't take long to find the common thread. All were owned by the Mirage Trust. Oh, I'll give the bastard credit. He showed us up for the amateurs we are. Sure to call in one his businesses the Bloody Bribery Consortium. I don't know what more he could have done to mock our rules on financial contributions. The gods only know how many men of the first and third are taken to Leggie's coin, but now we know, as some of them are, I'd wager my right eye they're the ones who did for Wilfred. The earnest young fool had taken to asking the wrong kinds of questions, bound to attract attention he was. Should have seen it at the time, but I didn't. God's damned me. Still, I don't see what Taleji hopes on to accomplish. He hid his scheme with all the care of a dusk pisson in the wind. No, he's cleverer than this. So we need to be clever too. That's the only way we'll repay this debt of blood. We'll purge every one of them treacherous bastards from our ranks. On that, you have me word. And quietly, mind yourself when you're in Ul'dah. Eh? We're heading into a storm. I can smell it. The kind what'll sweep a man overboard and drag him under 'fore he knows it. We have been waiting for you quietly. The celebration is due to begin shortly. I had hoped that we might make our introductions together, but Mistress Momodi just sent word that you're needed at the quicksand. We will go ahead quietly. Pray join us once matters at the quicksand are resolved. Give my regards to Momodi, and let her know that I will call upon her anon. Call upon her anon? Yo? I appreciate you dropping in on such short notice quietly. I know you've got places to be, so I won't waste your time. You're friends at the Crystal Braves by the name of Aline, aren't you? Former adventurer? Come to think of it, I'm pretty sure you recruited her yourself. Well, anyway, she came round for a meal not long ago, and before she left, she asked me to give you a message. Said if others ended up dragging you to the feast, I was to see you got it before you made your grand entrance. Meet me at the station west of Coffer and Coffin. There's something I must show you. A short message, I'll grant you, but she thought long and hard before picking the words. Barely touched her food, too. Under other circumstances, I'd have thought these signs of a troubled heart, but something's telling me she ain't planning to ask your thoughts on a gentleman caller. As you stand upon the platform, your thoughts begin to wander, and all too soon the ghosts of comrades lost and enemies slain begin to file by your mind's eye in solemn procession. Clearing your head, you scan the horizon, but see no sign of Aline. Straining your eyes to listen, you hear the chatter of Quickerin and the buzz of Seraphids, but no approaching footfall. Sigh, you bow your head, only to notice the vial laying at your feet. Quietly, is that you? What brings you out this way? Lieutenant Aline? Oh, I know. I haven't seen her about. Had she come this way, I guarantee we would have crossed paths. I must have passed this spot a dozen times. We're to patrol the city's environs and account of the royal banquet. Captain's orders, you understand. Speaking of which, isn't it about to begin? You should be with the other honored guests, enjoying your well-deserved respite. I pray return to Ul'dah quietly. If I chance to meet the lieutenant, I will tell her you were here.
O Sultan Tree, hallowed spirit of my line. Through my weakness, the glorious house of Ul has all but disappeared beneath the sands. For want of the strength to raise it up again, it were better that it fall. Forgive me, but I know not what else to do.
Dun dun dun. I didn't know he rests on your shoulder like that. Look at him bounce. So awkward. I reckon you're heading straight to the feast after meeting with Aline. What's the matter? No appetite? So she wasn't there, but this was, eh? Let's see. Looks to me like an alchemist's vial, but beyond that I can't say. Might be best if you hold on to it for safekeeping, though. Any road. No use wondering about Aline. I'm sure she'll turn up before too long, and when she does, we'll soon find out what this was all in aid of. Besides, you've got more important things to think about. Alright guys, we're gonna end this episode here, and we're gonna do the big cutscenes next, because I know that the big banquet cutscenes are coming next, and those are gonna take like a fucking age and a half, so I'm gonna put those in a different episode. Yeah. Thank you for hanging out, and I will see you with the next part of 2.55.